All right, it's saying live. Let's roll through Twitter.
I see it.
All right, we are up. I'm going to copy this link. We are working on our branding. Join us live at everyone. So we could do the radio show. What's up? What's up? No, I'm just kidding. So back again, trying to do this weekly for y'all. My dogs will probably go crazy. I see deliveries rolling in. We've got our Alio miners that just went live. I know people are super curious about that. How long that price will stay up, we have no clue, but I'm happy to offer the community for that. Tapped in with some starch miners this morning. Wanted to talk to y'all about that. And then I want to walk through the performance part of the dashboard today. So I will do that. This is going to be available on Twitter as a broadcast for right now. I'm working with Opti on potentially a Twitter Plus Spaces setup. We've got a little more work to do there. There's kind of like an issue with how you do the sound mixing there. And Opti and I are both middle-aged men who don't know how to use technology, but we're going to try. So before we start there, Opti, GM, what's up, man?
Yo, GM, I'm doing well. Just looking through some of the Tangz, and I see a few like above the floor that are not upgraded yet.
Ooh, nice.
Look,
Upgrading those.
yeah, I might have to scoop it up to be honest. But yeah, I'm doing fine otherwise. Waiting on that mixer because you can actually do a lot of cool things with the mixer, especially on Spaces. You can connect the multiple devices and use one microphone. I actually have a pretty cool looking microphone that I'll bring out once we get the mixer. But yeah, excited for that.
That's awesome, man. And to anyone who watches Severance, happy Severance Day. Let me see if I can zoom in on it there. I got my Lumen coffee cup, standard issue. It's got my name on the back.
Wait, what's the Sever? Oh, are you talking about the show?
Yeah. Do you watch?
No, I did watch it. I didn't finish it though. I think they're on season 2, right? I didn't finish it.
Yeah, it's a fucking banger, man. I love Severance. If you work in corporate America, it is like just on the nose, man. You just feel like it's a documentary. So pretty wild stuff. But yeah, man, it's a good Thursday. What kind of coffee are you drinking?
Today it's the same as usual. I get the coffee from Black Rifle Company, and I always get it dark and without anything on it because that's the only way to have coffee, to be honest. And keeps me nice and awake. Now I usually get it dark roast, but I hear that the light roast actually has more caffeine, so I'm gonna try light roast because I love the caffeine.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I had this book once. And by the way, make sure if you're watching this, you retweet it, share the broadcast. We'll try to be on for 30, 40 minutes. If you have comments, post them on Twitter. Be sure to, just join in the conversation. We got a lot to cover, but I was going to say, I have a book here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it for you.
The coffee book?
Yeah, it's not there. It might be in my living room. But anyway, so I have a coffee book I was obsessed with. I can't remember. So the light roast has more caffeine, I think, because it's baked less. And so like the caffeine drains out of it more or less. There's like some weird I don't know. I was like obsessed for a while. I'm not that good of a coffee roaster, but
yeah, that's what it has to do with it. It's not roasted as hard as the dark roast. But what I find with the dark roast is that I like that it feels a bit more earthy, like it comes from the soil, and I really like that feeling. So that's why I get dark roast mainly. But I have to try the light roast just for the caffeine.
There you go. Yeah, I was talking to my wife because we had a babysitter who's helping with the kids, and she loves like sugary caffeine drinks. And I think it's a real sign of manhood to drink black coffee. I still do the cream, but like I'm not there yet on full dark roast. You
should definitely try it if it's made, especially if you make it at home. The best time, like if it's brewed right, then you won't even need like any cream or sugar, because that's like I think the majority of people put all that stuff in because the coffee tastes really bitter.
Yeah.
But if the coffee is brewed right, there's all sorts of flavor profiles, especially with the Arabica beans. It has like the richest flavor profile.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't do Robusta at all. We've done this every week, but I'll do it every week. It's worth it. Shout out Caffeinus Maximus. I'm drinking a cup of his coffee right now, Cardano community member. But yeah, I can't do that. You know Caffeinus? Yeah, he's great, man.
I didn't know he had his own coffee though.
Oh yeah. He's got I think it's called Brewer's Choice. Brewer's Choice. I'll tag him because I'm in his Discord. But yeah, he's got Brewer's Choice coffee. It's good, man. It's good. He ships it to me every once in a while. Yeah, it's great, man. It's awesome. So, all right. Well, the coffee chat out of the way, our GMs. Let's get into it. I mean, let's start off with what we're mining. I want to talk about a couple things today. I want to talk about Aleo, and then I want to talk about Starch, and I want to get feedback from the community. So again, if you're in the space or you like it, retweet it, get people to join in, post your comments, post your questions. But let's start with Aleo. So Opti, I'm going to start with you. What do you know about Aleo?
I don't know much other than what is it? Is it its own proof of work blockchain? I really don't know much, to be honest.
Yeah, so Aleo is a proof of work zero knowledge blockchain, and zero knowledge. It's interesting. So for anyone who's curious, this is an old. Just reading the comments. It's an old computer science concept, and the allegory for zero knowledge that we use in the computer science case is like, it's jokingly called the allegory of the cave, which is a Plato reference. But essentially imagine that you have a key to a door inside of a cave, right? And someone can randomly lock a door either on the left or the right, okay? What the allegory of the cave is essentially like, if you want to prove that you have the key, but you don't want to show the key to someone, and the other person wants to verify like, hey, this person has the key, then what they can do is they can say, okay, I'm going to lock the doors, right? And when you go through the cave, you're going to pick a path. I'm going to either say, come out the left side or come out the right side. And if you can prove to me 100 times that you come out of my side every time, the odds that you could do that by like randomly picking ahead of time is so low that you must have the keys to unlock all the doors. It's kind of a weird analogy, but you're taking actions to prove you can do something based on challenges. So when you take this to the computer level, computers and zero knowledge protocols will issue millions of challenges. They'll say, I challenge you to solve these sets of problems with your key and give me the answers. And essentially, if you solve that enough times, you've proved with zero knowledge that you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, have this key. So in that case, there's like a threshold of how reliably you've proved that. So I wanted to start there. I think people are kind of like, zero knowledge, what does that really mean? But why this is really relevant, I think, is like, and I've actually been talking with some people, hopefully I'll have more to announce in the next couple of weeks, but like, you know, when we talk about Tangz, the biggest thing for me has been being US based. I need you guys to KYC. I don't want your information. What I want is you to prove to me that you're not on any banned finance lists. Again, as long as that's the case and we're all reporting what we need to report to our entities, I don't care who you are, right? I just want to make sure that you're not on a banned list, from a banned country, et cetera. So the way we have it set up now is not zero knowledge, but you can imagine a future where you solve zero knowledge proofs related to a decentralized identity, and then you can prove to me that you're eligible for Tangz without telling me who you are. So I actually really like the concept of Aleo. I think it's a really exciting L1 blockchain, but to me, like this whole zero knowledge system is going to be huge for privacy in the coming years.
Cool. So it's like showing your ID to someone without and you only show them the relevant information, but it still proves that it's you, right?
It's even better than that. Yeah, it's a great question. So like, it's even better than that. Like, it's like holding up this and saying, you don't know what this is. It's just a computer connector, but you don't know what this is, but this proves that I'm Thaddeus, right? So it's actually this interesting way now where you can have something totally unrelated to your identity, like a DID identifier, but I can use that as Thaddeus to prove that you're who you say you are, right? It's kind of hard to analogize, but I think it's a huge portion of crypto. I'll credit, I think ETH really popularized this with their ZK rollups. And then obviously Cardano's getting into it with the midnight game, which is a zero knowledge L1.
That makes sense. So basically, okay, so I can definitely see the application with crypto and stuff. Would you enable it on the, or use that somehow on the dashboard or in the app or something like that? Like eventually, if it's
yeah, great question. So I'm in talks now. Not only are we mining Aleo, and I've actually talked to their developer community, mostly just about like how to do transactions and what the difference between the public and private wallets are and kind of how that all flows out. But I am actively having talks now with like, different chains, different partners who I wanted to kind of explore the concept of privacy and DID as a critical part of mining, right? I think people around the world should be able to, assuming they're not, funding terrorism, they're not doing things that are morally egregious or banned by relevant local law, like participate in these decentralized networks without having to give up the goat of their identity every time. I mean, personally, how many people have been involved in the Experian hack, right? You had a hugely credible central database of government essentially sponsored data, because Experian is one of the three sort of sponsored credit agencies, and it was leaked. Nobody's social security number is safe anymore. So to me, like these zero knowledge chains like Aleo, not only are they profitable to mine now, but I'm super interested in the technology and kind of what use cases that can unlock.
So when midnight starts, would you prefer to use that instead, or is it just a matter of what works for whatever you're trying to do?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think one of the things I've been talking to the midnight team about is there's kind of a difference between a DID application and a financial transaction, in my opinion. Now, I don't know if everybody agrees with that, but like a zero knowledge protocol can say, okay, I guarantee that person A transferred money to person B, and you don't need to know the amounts, you don't need to know what happened, but like that's how these zero knowledge rollups work, is they essentially prove that a sum of transactions happened without having to settle each one on the base chain. So when you do a zero knowledge rollup, you're doing a financial transaction. You're essentially saying this amount of money moved over here, right? But I don't have to tell you every little detail. I don't have to update every little EVM account. I just want you to settle the start and the end. And so, this is how they get massively scalable L2s. The thing I'm talking about the midnight team about is there's that portion, but then there's also the portion of like, well, what if we just had a zero knowledge application that was powered by midnight gas, right? So like every time you want to prove your identity right now, the third-party companies, like we use one called Verith, they charge a service fee, right? So what if instead of using one of these services for their sort of centralized service and their service fee, you could use a DID to prove who you are and pay for that verification in dust gas? That to me is like, whatever it's called, night dust or whatever. To me, that's I think where I see this going for sure.
Okay, well, that sounds cool. Yeah, I guess the use case is pretty obvious. I'm still waiting on. Well, I actually haven't read the entire thing on midnight, but I think I get the point. Because I've always been sort of curious about zero knowledge and stuff. Cool.
Awesome. So any other questions about Aleo? And if you have them in the chat, I see we got like 40 or 50 people here. So that's great. As you join in, if you have questions on Aleo, it's going to be one of your choices. If I look at the mining dashboard, let me log into the mining dashboard.
Like Aleo has its own token, right?
Aleo has its own token. It is a proof of work L1. Let me share my screen. Get the mining dashboard open.
DSL. I don't even know what that is.
I'm going to add this to the stage. Do we have any Aleo slots left? Let's take a look.
I haven't seen.
Oh, we're sold out on the Aleo slots. Damn it. Okay. Well, if you're in the Aleo slots, We just got 3 machines online at the bottom with F2 Pool. The ZK Work machines were private sale, and those have been online for over a month. You know, shout out to my wife for bearing with me, because I can show you what it looks like, but my house is now turning into a bit of a zoo, because Alio is an at-home machine, and it's cheaper, and it's not meant for industrial settings. So we're running that out of our house right now. But here,
is it like a machine that you order from them, or is it you buy your own machine?
Yeah, no, it's an ASIC, and I'll share my screen here. Let's see. Add this to the stage. So thank you, Wifey, for allowing me to repurpose an empty space. Those are 2 Alio boxes. They're made by Gold Shell. There's also one coming out from Ice River soon, which has a little more hash power and a lot less electricity. I will say, like, for anyone curious why I'm not getting into Ice River yet, there's 2 reasons. One is when a machine is pre-batch, right? Like a manufacturer is always announcing new machines, but when they're pre-batch, I would say, just having looked at this and talked to other suppliers, 8, 9 times out of 10, release dates get pushed back. So essentially what happens is when you deploy that capital too early, you're sitting on having paid out money and not getting a return on it. So if they get delayed, if there are issues, that's something you want a big red flag. But then when it first comes out, it actually massively can impact the network hash rate, right? So I think the Ice Rivers are supposed to be coming out end of this month, early into next. And there's a lot of concerns about how Alio's hash rate is going to change. So I haven't gone into the Alio Ice Rivers yet, but the ones you're seeing here, Opti, to your question, are Gold Shells. They're Gold Shell AE boxes. Yeah.
Got it. So that's your little server rack there.
I know. It's my ghetto server rack. I jerry rigged it with, like, you know, just stuff off Amazon. I'm trying to, you know, plug and play here. I got a 220 volt adapter coming in to use an old dryer port where our dryer broke. So I'm going to use that. But anything to hash, man. So.
And what was that white device I saw on the top?
Oh, sure. What white device?
Yeah, it's like a white round thing.
Oh, that's my Google Wi-Fi point. So I basically, I put in, like, I don't know. Can you zoom in on this?
Good.
I wonder if you can zoom in on media.
Like so the miners are just directly patched into that.
Yeah, is this zooming in for you?
Yeah, it's zooming in.
Nice. Okay, so if you take a look here, you'll notice there's like an old like washer dryer tap in the middle. Those are the 2 copper intakes. Those are like the water hammers on top of it. But this white machine right here is basically, I pulled in a hardwired Google Wi-Fi router, and then I'm pulling that in through. Well, actually, I put the Wi-Fi Ethernet hookup into a switch, which is that little black thing behind it. Okay. The power supply behind it is not running, and then I plug that into a mesh Wi-Fi that could go to other devices, like, you know, if we stream TV or something. But then from that same switch, the black thing back there, I actually am running Ethernets down to these 2 things. So these are hardwired in through the network switch, and I'm gonna move. I have a different closet that has the other AE boxes, so I'm gonna try to move those up today. But yeah, definitely jerry-rig. But what I will say about it is, like, with machines that are this low voltage. Now again, some people have asked, like, you know, why are you running machines like this when the coin is so new? We're not really sure about mining. Thad, what's happening with the Bitcoin? Remember, this is a very small part of a miner's capital allocation. Like, our supplier, who has 90% of our machines, has 90% of our capital, right? We're running an experimental kind of 5 or 10% to give you guys options in the coins you mine. But the operators that are really doing the massive heavy lifting are the ones who get that 8 cent per kilowatt hour electricity. They're running massive, you know, $10,000 plus Bitcoin and Dogecoin machines. What this is really experimental, and it doesn't require as efficient a setup. It's less than 2 kilowatts in total. It's very easy to set up on your own. And then I have, you know, active monitoring, and I have it on 220s so that my if my breaker flips, it's on its own circuit and I can just reset it.
That's cool. So these are sort of just like so like the other sort of miners are not even there. So okay, that makes
No,
sense.
definitely not. Yeah, if you come to my house, you will not find any Bitcoin miners. That would not make sense for you guys. So
Cool. Well, I need to get my own server room. I don't have enough space here though.
yeah, I don't know if I'd call it a server room, maybe more of a server closet, but so.
Cool. Well, thanks for showing us that. So that's for the Alio, right? So are those so those machines, can they only run like, or can they only mine Alio, or can you do like other stuff?
No, so right now those are purely Alio. Now, kind of something to note is it's a good question. So when you buy a machine, right? And again, I'm not designing these circuits. So this is me telling you as kind of like someone who operates these circuits. But if you think it's wrong, correct it in the chat, write a comment, write me an angry letter. But
Okay.
essentially what happens is it's an application specific integrated circuit, right?
Oh,
ACS. What's that?
Yeah, ASIC. Yeah, I got it.
ASIC, yeah. So what happens is they essentially build a chip that is based on a specific algorithm, right? So it's not the specific coin, it's a specific algorithm. So for instance, when we're mining Bitcoin, we're mining with the SHA-256 algorithm. Technically, we use what's called SHA-256 ASIC boost, but it's basically the same thing. When we're mining with Doge, we're doing what's called scrypt. And for Alio, it's ZK Snark. So what happened with Scrypt was Dogecoin was so fun and cheap and easy to mine that a bunch of other chains started basing themselves around this algorithm. So that's why we get the merge mining there. So Litecoin came before, it was already Scrypt. Dogecoin came, and then now there's like Pepe Coin, Bell's Coin. I haven't figured out, I'll be totally honest, I haven't figured out efficient ways to mine it or distribute it. I'm not even taking the coins myself. Like unfortunately, I just give up the goat on that. Like I don't distribute those. But that's how merged mining works. So like Bitcoin has Fractal Bitcoin is the other one that does SHA-256. So to your question, the algorithm for Alio is called ZK Snark. I would bet there will be other ZK Snark chains. ZK Snark became a very powerful tool in the ETH rollup ecosystem, and they've used it for zero knowledge interactive protocols, ZKIPs. So I could see this becoming like a true merged mine situation, but for right now, you can only get access to Alio through the major pools.
Cool. That makes sense. I'm looking at this price action at the moment. What's 93 million market cap and 27 cents. It launched. When did it launch? 2024. Okay, so it's fairly new.
Extremely new. Yeah, let's pull up Alio. I'm gonna pull up my Coinbase.
Or even before actually. So it launched, or at least the coin down.
Yeah, everyone see my screen.
Okay, so in the 2024.
So here's the problem with Alio though. Don't zoom out, right? Because you've got a lot of early price action.
Yeah.
And you've seen even here, like there was a lot of excitement when Alio went out and said, okay, we're gonna have these ASICs and we're gonna partner with Gold Shell and things of that nature. And then it's been a massive drawdown, obviously impacted by the recent route. So what I always say to people is like, this is why it's great to have a Tangz in one man's opinion is it's month to month. So like next month, if Alio shits the bed, yes, you can just switch your miners, right? We've already made the margin to cover these machines. The machines are paid for. So it's a speculative coin. There's no investment advice or anything. I just think the technology and the proof of work behind it is very interesting. But it's extremely volatile and it's running into the same issues that any new coin has in terms of protocol sustainment.
So was there any pre-mine to this one? Or is it just all about like 100%?
So, yeah, I don't know if it was pre-mined, but I will say there were a lot of allegations that in this September to December range, Gold Shell and other OEMs were mining as a test of the proof of work for their ASICs and then just kind of dumping. So that's kind of unfortunate. And I will be totally honest and say that the tokenomics are a bit vague. They recently announced a partnership with Google and they have a very active Discord. If you want to go check them out, the Alio Foundation's Discord's active. They have developer calls constantly. So yeah, I would say, it's definitely a new coin, right? There's no doubt about it. It's got all the good and the bad on it.
That sounds good. There's all the obvious questions, right?
Yep.
That sounds good. But like as far as mining goes, I mean, I suppose it's like for any miner. Can you hear me? Sorry, I kind of
I can hear you. Yeah, you're good.
Right, okay, I'm good now. So I suppose it would be a good strategy for any miner to have like a mix of, I don't know, BTC, like maybe 80%, and then the rest is a bit more speculative, like Alia or something like that. I've seen some people do that. But,
yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think we sort of say one way or another how these I don't think we say one way or another how these coins are going to go, but just know that it's new, right? It's a new coin. It's less than a year old. So definitely speculative in nature. Good returns, but who knows how long it'll last? Could last a week, could last 6 months. I think the payback period as these machines stand now for the machine itself is like 100 days. So, provides an interesting angle, but definitely long-term not proven. That's for sure.
Okay. It's going to be higher returns if it does well, though, as it's smaller.
People always love the gamble in crypto, man. I'm not about that life, but I just build tools, but I know people love that gamble.
I used to do a lot of SNEC fund tickers, not anymore, but yeah, I was
a lot of what?
I used to bid a lot on the new tickers on SNEC fund. That was a bit gambler, I guess. But yeah.
Did you ever hit any big?
I hit a few big ones. The first big one I hit was Clay Snake. The second one was Band's Coin from a friend of mine. And then the latest one was a Sugar. I made like 8K on that one.
Nice. That's cool.
And then I stopped. I just provided liquidity from that point on in the Sugar 8 pool, and then that's it. I made a few small wins in my DGen wallet. I think I made that one public, but that's all I've been doing. I've just been lending on Levy more recently. So yeah, that's all Makes I've been sense. Doing. I actually think, hold on a second, because I know that you can lend to NFTs on Levy. Let me see I don't know if Wild Things meets the mark in terms of floor price. So let me see that.
Probably not. We also are pretty thinly traded. People just tend to hold, which is good, I guess, right? But the Series 1 had a lot of action back in the day. It was much more active. Obviously, we have no control over that, but
yeah, okay, so it's not on there. Yeah, I guess it needs more volume, more price action, but
yeah, we're not there yet.
I suppose we're not too concerned about that anyway, right? Because people want to hold it.
Well, yeah, I mean, if people, they're collectibles. People want to trade them, but yeah, we'll get there, guys. So if you ever have any thoughts on how to improve our standing there, always open to feedback. Cool.
Yeah. Did you have any other items on the list you really wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up one. I had a good conversation with Shep this morning. Shout out to Cardano Shepherd. So I got some early feedback like, hey, this is great. Why don't you mine Starch and then put Starch in the platform? And one thing I said kind of off the cuff in Spaces was, well, I'd kind of be giving like the community pennies. Like it's free because there's no electricity. It's just proof of work. And like you have to have that asset and then you can split it out. So it's technically possible. But it's like, I don't know, like, is it worth the squeeze? Are people going to be annoyed that I'm giving them this option? That was taken the wrong way, which is like people thinking I'm chasing a bag, which like, if you've been around in crypto for 3 years and you're chasing a bag, like good luck because you're going to get shaken out like crazy. This space is nuts. So was not my intention. So let me put that out there. What I want to say to people is, I think the way we could go about this is starting to engage partner communities, partner chains, partner projects in ways to get that involved in the Tangz mining ecosystem. So all that to say, if you're a big Starch fan and you want to see us fractional mining Starch, or let's say you're a big Starch fan and you have a plan for like how to integrate with Potato Pay, which I know is coming out. So shout out to Abstract for doing that. I am all ears. I want to hear the community's feedback on that. I want to see how interested they are in Starch. And then look, it's not about profit. If this is something you guys want to participate in, let's add it to our platform, right? There's no reason not to. provides an interesting kind of like weird new proof of attendance, proof of
Yeah.
work type thing. And then we fractionalize off of that. So Opti, I don't know. Are you involved in, I was gifted a Starch miner. I joined a company. I customized it to be El Jefe, but Opti, I don't know what your plans are, or if you've been involved in Starch at all.
Yeah, I got one miner for free from Bonepool, and then I minted one myself. And it's really easy. You just gotta, whoever's mining it just has to open a browser and enter like the asset ID into the web page, and then it starts mining for you. So it's just a matter of keeping the browser open as long as you can. And if you can't do it yourself, then there's these NFTs called companies, and there are people that operate these companies, and so you delegate your miner to them, and then they will run the miner for you. So that's kind of how it works. And since it's proof of attendance, right, as long as you keep your browser open and you're there, then it runs and you mine Starch.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Do you remember what company you're in? Mine was called DFace, I think.
I have to look it up. I have, my miner hasn't been running for like a day. I have to get it back up again. I should probably delegate it, to be honest. But as far as like the fractional stuff goes, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be worth it, because it's like, it's not that valuable yet. It's only 400K market cap, right?
Yeah, but maybe Cardano native tokens will do something. I don't know. Like I love some Cardano native tokens.
Yeah.
I bought $1 million Doxxed, right, to support Drams. So shout out Drams if you're listening to this. But there's good use cases for Cardano native tokens. It's kind of a fun. How do I say this? This is gonna piss people off, but it's a funny little ecosystem. It's like its own thing, right? Like Solana, like you'll come in at 2 p.m. and then like by the evening you've lost, whatever. These people will be like, oh, I lost 1,000 SOL, right? Like you'll see these crazy trades, and it's like so fast, and the memes move so quick. The thing I like about Cardano native tokens is like it almost gives me those early like Cardano NFT vibes, where you got like memes, you got communities, you got a lot of Twitter spaces. I know Chad's doing a ton of Twitter spaces. So
sure.
I don't know. Yeah, small market cap, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
What's good about Starch or Starch chain is that like it's just like any L2 or whatever, right? Like anyone can build on it. So I don't know. I mean, it could be a good thing. I mean, I have some, so it doesn't hurt, I guess.
Yeah. Throw your comments in X if you have any on Starch. The only comment I see so far is this one. Hi, Seal.
Yeah, that was me.
All right. Anything else on Starch, Humpty?
No, that's it really. So I'm gonna take a look at the price real quick to see where we're sitting at, because I know that some big whales dumped, and then a few of the community members, they bought back in. So let's take a look at this. Give me a second here. Starch.
Let's go to, you have tap tools up.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up here. Would be a fun little thing. Okay, so we have it here. Okay, so
You sharing the screen? I can share it.
Oh, I can share. Oh, that's right. Yeah, let me share it. How does one do that?
I know. Now we have a video stream.
Share screen.
Usually shows up in the bottom.
There we go. Okay, I should be sharing it now. I don't know if you see it.
Nice.
Okay. So can you see that?
Yep.
All right. So here we go. Price in ADA, 359K. Yeah, so down from 450 from when I saw last time. The fully diluted value is 1.19 because there's still a lot of emissions left for, because they have to pay miners and stuff. So they are currently going through their, stop this. Okay. They're currently going through their third wave of mints. And so it's interesting the way it works, because actually I should share my screen again here. Let me do it. It's like an auction, like I don't know what they call it, Dutch style auction, whatever they call it.
Yeah, Dutch auction, right? Like second highest or something, isn't that?
Yeah, and they have, here we go, Starch. I don't know if you can see that.
I'll add it to the stage manager. Yeah, there I see it. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So you go to mint right here. So like every 24 hours they'll have a new. Actually, no, it's every 12. Is it 12? No, it's every 24 hours now. And they'll have a few miners out for for minting.
Oh, interesting.
So the miners are sold out at the moment, but for those who are into hosting others, you can actually mint Starch companies.
How many are in each batch when it says mint now?
4. In this case, it's going to be 4. Last time in the last wave, it was 8. So I think it's decreasing. And the way you would actually activate the miners, you go here, you go somewhere here, you go mine. I don't know why they have it like that, but yeah, you kind of have to do
mining, I think, right? Or is it?
What?
I think it's just starch.1. Starch.
Yeah. Starch.1 right here.
Yeah. Oh, got it. Yeah.
And here's the miner ID. So this is mine.
Let's see it, Opti.
You press open, and that's it. You just open the miner, starts running and mining for you.
Oh, no, you got to click start. Your guy's not running.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
There you go.
Now he's running.
So 610 million starch. You got like 28 of that's awesome.
Yeah, it's it's not much, but it's honest work. But yeah, so that's how it works.
I love it, man. I mean, I'm always down to highlight really cool projects, like I remember when Abstract pre-starch, just a potato dude, but he's he's building something real. So shout out to Abstract.
It's one of the things I like about this is that it's sort of, and I think Demos, he mentioned this, that he likes the idea that you can be a developer and build stuff without anyone's permission. And this is one of those cases where I think he tried to ask for funding, but he didn't get it, but he just built it all anyway. And raising money through mints like these and stuff, it's cool stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a vision. I think that's Tangz has a similar philosophy too. And it's like, he's just pushed through, man. He just keeps like, and it's great, like raising 1,000 ADA at a time. What a concept, right? Like we see all these projects coming in and out. Oh, I need a 500,000 ADA this. I need a, I know there's been times where I've made less than, $500 a month. Right. And no, I love to see them build, man. I mean, just doing that and keep them delivering. So if you're in that community, if you're in our community, whatever it is, just keep the feedback up. The intention here was not to say, oh, we won't do it because it's not a bag. The question really is the juice worth the squeeze? And obviously, if you guys give me that feedback, then we'll for sure do it.
Wonderful. Sounds great.
Cool.
Yes, that's all I got to say about starch. Is there anything you wanted to cover, or I don't know?
Yeah, I want to do 10 minutes on the performance dashboard. I got a couple questions about it. So I'm going to share it
in the live stream comments, or
it was this past week. I think maybe people are still sleeping or something, but nobody's comments. Oh, I see a comment coming in. No, I'm just kidding.
If you're in the stream, just comment and
in the stream, comment. All right, so let's pull up the mining dashboard. So obviously this is mine. I've shown you here, like this is how you look at it. You can see your slot earnings. I put in a very lightweight performance comparison, and I just want to say this is not the be all end all, but I needed to get you guys this data, right? So what I put in was the second tab called performance. And what I really wanted to highlight here, Opti, is like, you have a lot of choices here. That's on purpose. This is not a passive project. This is not, hey, we're going to lazy stake and convert it to some other currency. And, there's lots of those out there. What this is a tool for you to get access to a subscription miner, right? Actually, I saw another company recently doing this called Go Mining, which is very interesting. But I think it's a good model for you guys to get involved, plugged in. So what I built for you here is just a past a past 30 days view, right? So this is not comprehensive. It's a very basic. It almost looks like Microsoft Paint. I totally acknowledge that. But I want to get you guys the data so you can see how the slots are performing. Now, this is rewards. It's gross of electricity. So you got to take that into account. But I just wanted to show you here. So like if you're trying to pick a chain, right? And you're sort of saying, I don't know what slots are doing what, right? You can select Bitcoin. And then right here, you'll see how the different pools are doing, how the different chains are doing, or how the different slot types are doing, and kind of start to get an understanding. I think one thing this like jumps out to me as is like, okay, well, why is Brains doing so well? Well, Brains, the daily average of earning is, what's that? $1, right? It dipped down a little bit to just under $1, and then it came back up. But the reason the daily average is so high is also because it's the most inefficient one we have. It's a machine that's like a gas guzzler, frankly. So what I wanted you guys to see here is like, that's okay. That's a trade-off I can make. I'll get a higher reward per slot, but obviously I have a less efficient machine. The other one I found interesting as an insight here is like, look at how fucking unpredictable SBI crypto is. And you go, why in the fuck would I join a pool that's that unpredictable? Well, the reason this is so unpredictable is because when we look at the fee structure, SBI crypto is actually using something called PPLNS, pay per last N shares. And what that means is that the calculation of the output rewards from this pool, and because it's smaller, are slightly more dynamic, right? It's not weighting it just as like, we mined this, you get this. It's actively keeping track of the shares in a sliding window. I forget what theirs is. I think it's like 30 days. It's keeping track of the shares of hash you've had in the last 30 days and then dynamically calculating your rewards. So interesting kind of quote unquote bet for people to say, oh, I wonder if PPLNS is better, or, you know, if I clear the selection, like how does that compare with the steady rewards of Ant Pool, right? Ant Pool is one of our most efficient machines, but it's right here. It's steady at sort of like, 50 cents a day per, or maybe 5 cents a day per slot. I'd have to do that math. But yeah, so probably 5 cents a day per slot. But yeah, so that kind of shows you there, like how you can start to compare these. I'll pause on that, but I really wanted to get this in front of you guys so that you could see how to start thinking about your rewards and analyzing them over time.
Great. So that's definitely something I can take a snippet of and, I don't know, make a post about it in this case. That's good. It's good information. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep. We got almost 100 people in here. Wow. Good. That's awesome, man. Glad to see that. So definitely encourage you to leave comments if you have thoughts on this dashboard, things you want to see on this dashboard, feel free to add me. I think one thing that's a goal of mine is to give a little more of an advanced analytics feel. So, one thing that's nice here is like, not to be, this is not a nativist comment. It's just how some people think. Each of these pools you see here is going to have a different country affiliation, right? So Ant Pool's China. I think Brains is Czech Republic. Litecoin Pool might be Canada or US. Luxor's US. SBI Crypto is Japan. I think ZK Work is China. So one thing that's interesting here is like, you could pick the Chinese pools, like Ant Pool, and say, hey, how are they doing? Oh, okay. Every day they're making, this little 0.7, or that's KAS. Sorry. I don't like KAS. It's not very profitable. How are my Bitcoin Chinese pools doing? Right. So this one's making that little, 5-4 cents a day. Okay. How are my American pools doing? Luxor's making slightly more. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, the US pool is beating China this month, and maybe that changes over time, right? So definitely something I want you to consider as you think about how you're making your stock selections month to month.
Sounds good. Sounds good. How much would you need to earn? Because give me a second here.
Go ahead.
So it's a 79 ADA floor for the second collection, or for the series 2. So so there's definitely someone out there that has enough to sweep like 1 Tang a day, or maybe a week or something. I wonder, because then so you get the payouts, right, and then it gets paid out in the native token, right?
Yep.
And so then you get that, and you can, I guess, if you want to get more Tangs or compound, then you'd have to swap it into ADA and then sweep a Tang. So I wonder if someone out there has enough to sweep at least 1 a day or something.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like I was even thinking of maybe in the future adding to the site, like just like a 1-click, like, hey, convert this into a Tangz, right? Like take my rewards and don't pay them out, but convert them into the Tangz. Not a bad feature, to be honest. Haven't had the time to implement it yet. Been hard at work managing these machines and adding analytics for you. But yeah, if you want to, hey, listen, I'm a big fan of getting back into Tangz anytime you can. Spreading the love to other projects too, right? I mean, one of the nice things about this project is you take some ADA, you buy a Tang, You can earn Bitcoin, Caspa, Doge, whatever you want. And then you can convert that right back into ADA, get your other projects, right? I mean, it's the nice thing about being your own kind of crypto bank here is you can bank yourself and get involved in all these projects.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I think there are other projects that just I don't know if the Sneckies do that or not, or the Gophers, but they just convert it into ADA for you, don't they? Is that
Yeah, Sneckies converts it into SNEC for you.
right?
Gophers, I think, do ADA and then airdrops. Theirs are quarterly. Sneckies is monthly. And then Tangz is smaller, but it's daily. It's like each one has kind of a different life cycle. I think Sneckies is monthly. Yeah, it's on the 7th of each month.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, cool. Well, that's all I got. And unless you have something else.
No, I know we're coming up on time here. Shout out to the 100 or so people who tuned in. We're gonna be here every Thursday. We're working on our IT, our brand. But hey, man, I'm super pumped to keep building. Get involved. The mint ends in 3 weeks, less than that actually, 2.5 weeks. After that, we have obviously the Series 2 wallet to keep funding it for the next year. But got big plans to build. There are about 1,000 slots left that are online today that you can get access to. You got 2 weeks to mint and sign up for them. Keep your eyes peeled for other discounts, boosters, and promos. But yeah, man, we'd love to have everybody who's interested in Tangz Nation. So yeah, appreciate the time. Opti, always a pleasure.
Sounds good. Take care, everybody, and you're welcome to kill it whenever you're ready. See you next week.
See you next week.